Hello, my friends. Good morning and happy Monday to you. I'm so excited to be back with you guys today for another new episode of Project Joy Live. We've got so much happening on today's show. I'm going to tell you about where I've been, how what was supposed to be rest turned into not rest, but it's a good thing. And we're going to talk all about that. Of course, talking about joy today, we've got so much to cover. I've got to tell you about a special broadcast coming up later today. Just lots on the docket. Stay tuned. An all new episode of Project Joy Live is starting right now. Good morning, world. Welcome to Project Joy Live. I hope you are doing well today. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and this is Project Joy Live. It's your triple shot of good vibes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at that 9 a.m. Eastern time hour. It feels so good to be back with you guys after a short break. Today, we're diving into heartfelt, we don't do anything other than that here, but layered conversation about rest, healing, activism, and joy, and how those things have collided in my own life over the past couple of weeks. We'll also celebrate some amazing updates on There Will Be Hugs. We'll preview a special broadcast happening later on this morning. And of course, bring back all your favorite segments today. So let's get this week started with heart and purpose. And we'll begin the show today with some breaking news. Let's do it. All right, you guys. So as we're going into the show, don't forget to comment down below. Let me know where you're joining from. What is bringing you joy today? And just say hello. Let me know that you're here. But this morning, we have two significant headlines that are deeply impacting both global and local communities. First, in Vatican City, the world welcomes a new pope following the recent passing of Pope Francis. The newly elected pope has already captured the attention of millions with his message of unity, humility, and spiritual renewal. Pope Leo XIV, a 69-year-old cardinal from Chicago, is the first pope from the United States. Big history being made here. As more details unfold about his background and mission, many are hopeful that his leadership will bring a new era of compassion and courage within the church and beyond. Closer to home here in Connecticut, the homeschooling community continues to rally in response to the push for regulation onto homeschoolers by Governor Lamont and representatives including Corey Paris and Jennifer Leeper. That could dramatically shift how families educate their children here in Connecticut and beyond. The passion, unity, and advocacy, though, coming from parents, students, and allies has been truly powerful to witness. I've got more on this coming up. I want to personally invite you to join me and Diane Connors, founder and co-president of the Connecticut Homeschool Network, today at 11 a.m. Eastern for a special and very important broadcast where we will go into detail about what's happening, how you can get involved, stay informed, and stand strong in your educational freedom. And even more importantly, why this should be a red flag issue for everyone in the state of Connecticut. I want to remind everybody that in the midst of these powerful moments, to remember that even in activism and uncertainty, joy is still here because we carry it within us. And with that, I want to get to today's joy versation. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so tired. As I mentioned, if you're joining us live right now, head over to the comments. Let us know where you're joining from and what is bringing you joy today in particular. I want to say happy Mother's Day to all those that celebrated Mother's Day yesterday. I had a beautiful day with the five of my six children that still live at home. And of course, my husband. They treated me to some lovely things. One daughter cooked breakfast, the other cooked dinner last night. We had a really good time. We went out to the store. They got me some nice things. And you guys know how I feel and love about my Care Bears, right? So first of all, I have my coffee in my Hug Life Care Bears mug here that my dear friend Danielle gifted to me at one point, and it's one of I have so many Care Bear mugs here, you guys. It's unbelievable. But also my kids yesterday, if you start to see Care Bears all over the place, for those of you that see me, and I may have one on my shirt, I may give you one. They got me a book of 1,500 Care Bear stickers. Okay, 1,500 Care Bear, and they're so cute. There's so many pages that feature like the different Care Bears that are in here. There's so much cuteness. And I'm so excited. So if I give you a sticker, okay, don't be offended. I just love you so much, and I want to give you a Care Bear. So thank you to my husband and children for sharing the day with me. It was really wonderful. And my oldest that lives in Washington State, I did get it. He was working very, very busy yesterday and was working a lot. He did send me a message, and I hope to talk to him later on this morning. So that'll be nice as well. Also, I have so much gratitude this morning because you guys know that on April 19th, which was my grandfather's birthday, we released myself and one of my best friends, Brittany Floyd. We released the book "There Will Be Hugs." It's a children's or family book, as we're calling it, and it's beautifully illustrated by my friend Brittany. We wrote this story about friendship. We tend to complicate friendship, and you guys know we've talked a lot about that here, especially since the release of my film last year, The Friendship Paradox. And so this is a simple story. It's a simple story. It really can be as simple as going, this is the kind of friendship that I want in my life, and let me go find it, and creating those circles for yourself that are meaningful and joyful and full of love and all of those things. So get your copy. It's on Amazon, but I'm so excited for a few reasons. One, we charted on launch day in 14 different places, bestseller lists, hot new release lists on Amazon, and I'm thrilled to announce that we are still on those lists. So in the top 100 books. And that's saying something, because let me tell you guys, for those of you that have never self-published a book or even published anyway, when the book first went live on Amazon, we were like number 1,700,000. Okay, so that's a lot. That's a lot of books. And so I'm really thrilled that on some categories, we're still top 10. We're in that top 100 in all the categories of new releases. And so I'm so proud of this book. I have two, if you're local to me here in Southeastern Connecticut, I have two really amazing events coming up. The first is coming up this coming Saturday at Dance Country in Gales Ferry. You don't have to register. These are free events, but this is going to be an event Saturday the 17th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm going to be reading the book. I'm going to be doing a short talk about friendship for all ages. And then we will have a little kids corner where the kids can learn how to draw a koala. I've got free bookmarks for everybody. I've got little koala stickers. We're going to have so much fun. There's going to be refreshments and everything. So again, that's at Dance Country in Gales Ferry. You can find all the information at thebreakthroughshownetwork.com. Just click on There Will Be Hugs at the top of the page. And then I will also be doing a story time at the New London Public Library on Wednesday. I think it's the 21st. 21st. Yes, Wednesday the 21st. So 2 Wednesdays from now, I will be doing story time at the Public Library of New London in New London, Connecticut. Again, a free event open to all age children. I'll be reading the book and we'll be drawing the koala. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. I do have books for purchase for both events. I also have my other books. Some of those were also bestsellers as well that are adult books, but they're in the personal development category. So you'll be able to purchase those as well. I have them available. But I only have obviously so many copies. So if you have the book or if you want to order it ahead of time, you still have time to do that. So go get the book. You can find it on Amazon. There's also, I think the links are down below, but I'll double check and make sure. But get your copies, bring them with you, and I'm happy to sign them and get you a bookmark and all that fun stuff as well. So make sure you guys check that out. Our Joyversation question today is, what brings you joy in the middle of change or challenge? What brings you joy in the middle of change or challenge? We're going to take a super quick break. And when I come back, I'm going to be heading over to the comments to say hello to all of you. So make sure you give me your answer down below. I'll be sharing the things that bring me joy in the middle of change or challenge, along with where I've been and what in the world's been going on behind the scenes. And we'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. I'm so glad you're here today, and I'm so excited to be back with you guys. It's been a couple of weeks, and I'm going to fill you guys in on all of that here in a moment, but I want to head over to the comments and continue with our Joyversation first. Miss Brittany's here this morning. Speaking of the illustrator of There Will Be Hugs, there she is. Good to see you this morning, Miss Brittany. It is a simple yet profound book. That's absolutely correct. Miss Andrea is here from down the street. Andrea and I had a wonderful time on a Saturday. We had some grown-up mommy time. We just went and sat by the river for a little bit, had a little appetizer, a nice little mocktail. By the way, shout out to the Blue Duck in New London, Connecticut. They have a beautiful mocktail list. Many of you know that I don't drink anymore, and so it's so nice to be able to sit and have like a nice little fancy drink and not have to, partake in something that you don't want to. So we had a great time, and then we went into the beach. It was wonderful. So thank you again, Andrea, for that beautiful time together. Miss Brittany put that link down there over on the YouTube for those of you that want to get your copy of There Will Be Hugs. So going into our question, what things bring you joy in the middle of change or challenge? What things bring you joy in the middle of change or challenge? My stepdad, Alfred Rowland's here. Good morning, Al. Good to see you. He said being with his family, that brings me a lot of comfort as well. Just being surrounded, and whether it's blood family or chosen family, it's so important to be surrounded by supportive people. So thank you for reminding us of that. Joanne is here this morning from Northern Connecticut. Good morning, Joanne. Good to see you. She said, my cats feeling the warmth of the sun and witnessing wildlife living their lives bring me joy. I love that as well. Animals and nature have a way of grounding us, right? Even in those times when, listen, let's just be honest, Jessica is always up here. And I was sharing with that with Andrea on Saturday. I said, look, grounding has always been tough for me. It's been because I live up here all the time. I've always been that way. I've always been a thinker, a dreamer, a feeler, and so it's important, especially for people like us who have that challenge, to intentionally ground ourselves, right? Miss Brittany said, nature always seems to bring me joy. I've been dealing with some challenges recently, and being out in nature has been a saving grace and always some form of creativity. Love that. Yeah, and creativity, that's another thing. And we do that really well inside the Breakthrough Show network community, because we have craft circles, we have classes in different types of artwork, and it's always so fun to tap into that creative side, because when we're going through the challenges, it gives us an outlet to express that isn't necessarily talking. For those of us who may or may not be natural talkers, sometimes even it gets a lot for us. It can be challenging to continue to emote and be speaking, so much in that kind of way. And so art gives us a chance where it doesn't have to come out this way. It can come out through, physical motion or creativity or whatever. And so that's such an important reminder as well. Yes, we had an amazing day on Saturday. Brittany also said, yes, being surrounded by loved ones, most definitely. Andrea said, what brings me joy during challenges is the small things, taking a few minutes to read scriptures, to make a snack with my kids, petting my animals, and being by water. That was my favorite part with Andrea on Saturday, was taking time to go down here to Ocean Beach Park and just breathe. Because even when you're standing there and you're chatting and you're processing a lot of the hard things that you're going through in your life, just doing it in the presence of the sound of the waves and the salty sea air that you're breathing in and all of these amazing things, you can't help but feel a little more calm and relieved and at peace. Excuse me, no matter what it is you're dealing with, at least for us. And we decided we need like a whole compound right by right by the water. That would be amazing. So what things bring me joy in the midst of change and challenge? For me, a lot of them I've shared with you here on the show. That number one, the heart of what Project Joy Live is about is that we are the joy. So taking time to remind ourselves and tap back into the joy that we are within us, so that no matter what's happening externally, we always get to choose how we show up, how we behave, how we react to different things. And so tapping back into that part within us and going, hey, Jessica, is anybody there? Um, you are the joy, and you can bring joy to this, even if everybody else outside of you is telling you this is not a joyful situation, or you should be angry, or we know how we feel about that word should around here, but you should feel some kind of way. You don't have to. You can fight back against that just by tapping back into that joy that you are within yourself. And then some of the things other people have mentioned, I love being by the water. That brings me an immense amount of joy. My children, my very sometimes unfiltered children, bring me a whole lot of joy, and remind me that it's not always that serious. I love things that make me laugh. And even in everything that's been going on, I will share with you that, I talk to people about the fact that I'm very, very intentional and very conscious about creating time of rest and relaxation for myself. No matter how busy I am, I always have time scheduled in for me to relax, play a game, paint something, sing something. You guys know I love to sing, and I will sit here and I will karaoke it out for hours sometimes. Okay. Thank you to my neighbors for putting up with me. But those are things that during this last couple of weeks, I'm going to get into that with you guys in just a few minutes here. The last couple of weeks, I've really been intentional about what do I want to experience during that time that I already take for myself. And a lot of times lately, that has been laughing. I want to tell jokes. I want to watch comedy movies. Now, I love some, like true crime and movies, dramatic movies and things like that. But this is not the time. I want to laugh. I want to have fun. I want to take that downtime and really be intentional about it being lighthearted. So if you catch me on the off time and I'm making ridiculous jokes, it's intentional in that kind of way. So thank you guys for chiming in on our Joyversation this morning. I want to tell you all about where exactly I have been the last couple of weeks and some other things that just have been very unexpected. And we'll be right back after a quick 30 seconds. We'll be see you in a minute. For those of you that haven't visited our virtual community, you can do so anytime. It's open 24/7 at the breakthroughshownetwork.club. We have a gym. We have an auditorium. I have an office. We have 30-something rooms, guys. I don't have time to sit here and go through all of them with you, but I invite you to join us in there. We have so much going on every single day in that community, and it has been a saving space. People say saving grace, a saving space for me in many times that I have gone through over the last, I think we might be almost at, I think in November, it'll be 2 years since I acquired the space. And then next March will be 2 years since we really built it up. But at any rate, I invite you to check that out. So, the last episode of Project Joy Live that I had done was towards the end of April, I believe. I should have pulled the date before I came on here, but I will digress on that. At any rate, I have been very open about my journey here on the shows, about what I have dealt with my health since I was a child. And I preface all of this to say that those of you that are new to me, I have a fantastic doctor. I have fantastic holistic practitioners that I've been working with. I've done a lot of work between the emotional, spiritual, and physical connections. And so I preface this in saying, I share this for those of you that are new to me. Don't come at me with like, have you tried this, and that, because that's overwhelming for people. And we've talked about that before. I assure you that I'm doing everything I can behind the scenes. But at any rate, to catch anybody up, I had these episodes that started, and that's the best I can call them. I've shared about that before. That started in 2019. And so it's been many years. And there's been, there's no rhyme or reason or rhythm to these episodes. And the day before the book launched, so April 18th, I had 2 really significant episodes that day. And that kind of snowballed into what became a health crisis over about 9-ish days or so. where I was experiencing time and time and time again. And it was really, really, really hard because, as you know, I launched the book on the 19th. Thank God. So much of my work is done behind the computer, because if I was having to be in person during that week, it would have been wildly challenging for me. And so I knew, in that weekend, I knew, I was like, Okay, something's got to give here, and I'm going to have to step away, because, and not because I couldn't have pushed through. You all know that I have come on here, especially this show, um, in times that have been some of my most challenging moments that I've ever been through. And I have no problem coming on here, being real and pushing through. And I can do it. I'm a warrior. I'm a thriver. I can do it. But I had to ask myself if I needed to just have some time, to just allow me to hyper focus, which I'm really good at, hyper focus on the healing, really dig into, like I said, that emotional, spiritual piece, and how that related to my physical health. And I'm so thankful for my husband and my children and my close friends during that time, because it was hard. It was hard. That's the, I can't say it in any kind of more eloquent way, but it was really, really hard. And so at some point, I made the decision. I said, I'm going to step away completely from on camera work. I was still doing stuff behind the scenes because it's not hard. I can, type away over here on my laptop. But I said, I'm going to step away until today, which May 12th. And then 2 weekends ago, we started seeing a call going out in our homeschooling community here in the state of Connecticut. Most of you guys know I am a mom of 6. My oldest no longer lives at home. He's in his 20s. He lives out in Washington State, living life, having a good time out there. And but I still have 5 children at home. One is an adult now. One, guys, I need help. One will be, and my third oldest will be an adult in less than a month, and I'm not okay, but that's another story. And so at any rate, we've been homeschooling since 2013. We started when we lived down in Alabama, and we continued when we moved back to my home area here in southeastern Connecticut. So we saw a call go out that there had been some chatter based on a horrific case of abuse that happened in Waterbury, Connecticut, where the boy in question was not homeschooled. And I cannot say that loudly enough, because that's significant in this. He was not homeschooled. And but there was a rumor that he might have been. And so then the governor and the people that are closest to him put a call out that they need to impose new regulations now. Obviously, those of us in the homeschool community did not agree. And although I had made this commitment to not be back, out and about and everything else until today, something took over inside me. And I was like, no, I have to show up, and I have to figure that whatever this looks like. Now, the interesting thing is, for those of you who are as, spiritually connected, I guess we'll say, as I am, is that beginning on Monday, last Monday, what day was that? What was the date? The 5th. That's right. It was the 5th. And over 4,000 of us showed up at the Capitol building in Hartford, Connecticut. Starting that day, the entire week, I had 0 physical symptoms. Now, isn't that something to think about? We've talked a lot over the years about alignment, about how do we know we're on the right path? How do we know we're doing the right thing? Leaning into our intuition, listening to God's answers to our prayers, and you could twist and spin this any, spiritual way or whatever that you want. Um, but I think many of us as humans have that feeling sometimes of just, how do I know? How do I know I'm doing the right thing? How do I know I'm on the right path? And the fact that I had 0 symptoms the entire week, being around all those people, you know, hollering, making signs, a lot of walking, standing, traveling, because it's not just around the corner, Hartford, from us. We're a little over 45 minutes to the capital from where we live. So there's a lot of driving, a lot of all of that happening. 0 symptoms. 0 the entire time. And that spoke to me on many different levels. It told me that there was some element of alignment to me showing up and showing out the way that I have been able to do. And so I continued to explore that behind the scenes, but it brought me so much joy because I said, first of all, thank you for allowing me the strength and stamina to do this activism work right now. And then I called my dear friend Farhan, and I'll call him my coworker for you guys know I work for myself, but Farhan is my co-host for Beyond 2D, and we got a new episode coming tomorrow night, you guys, at 6 p.m. Eastern, to continue the conversation about choices versus decisions. But I called Farhan and I said, Farhan, will you pray with me, please? Like, do you have time later? Because I really trust Farhan's perspective, and I really he has a wonderful energy, and I just wanted to have some time because I have felt over this last week this really strong pull to continue this work, and perhaps in a bigger way even than what I'm doing right now. But there's a lot of worries, the very human worries and fears that come up about when you've had a lifetime of physical challenges, of going, but am I going to have the the physical ability to be able to show up in the way that I promise people that I'm going to be able to show up? The physical things are really easy when they're not easy, but they're easier when you're behind the camera, right? Like, I could be sitting here and I could have a heating pad on, and I can have my water, my smoothie, my all of these things set up behind the scenes. It's much easier in that realm than it is in the in-person, space. And so we had this moment, and we're chatting, we're going over things, and I was sharing with him some of my concerns about that, because for those of you that don't know, Farhan is also an advocate, a spokesperson for sickle cell trait. He had his own experience with that, so he knows what it's like to have all of these hopes and dreams and things that he wants to do, and sometimes his body's like, sit down. for lack of a better phrase there, but like, hey, slow down, you can't do this right now. And he reminded me, and then I was so beautifully reminded by Brian K. Wright this morning, his post on Facebook, that we can only do what's in our power to do, right? Like, if we know we're not feeling good, we can make a call and go, hey, I am not in the physical place to be able to do this right now. I hope you can understand, and I'll let you know as soon as I'm better. But then we have to release the other part of that, where we might be afraid that the other person doesn't understand, or they think you're a flake, or they're like, they have their own fears pop up about, oh God, if she can't show up now, then when is she going to be able to show up another time? You know what I mean? And so there's a lot of that personal work that I'm doing with myself right now of releasing how other people process things that I share or I have to take care of in my own life. Um, because, and it's not about that. There's a lot of chatter, in the spiritual and personal development worlds about people pleasing. And for those of you that don't know, I actually wrote an article years ago for Aspire magazine that talked about people pleasing as a superpower. Now, hear me out. I'm not talking about people pleasing as in dropping your whole life and not caring about yourself and just going a different direction that somebody else wants you to go. I mean that there's nothing wrong with wanting others around you to be happy and cared for and feel good, right? And so you have to read the whole article for context. However, that's the gist of it. And so I don't like that feeling of possibly letting someone else down. That's something that has been a continuing fear for me since I've dealt with the health issues as a child and beyond. And so at any rate, it's been this time that I thought rest was going to look like being in my bed and having that time. Um it, it it hasn't looked like that. It hasn't looked like what I expected it to look like. And I think such a huge lesson in that for me has been that it sometimes it's not going to look like what you think it's going to look like, and that it is still possible in being active, being an activist, being an advocate. It's still possible to get that healing and rest that you need in spite of or in honor of the other things that you're experiencing in your life. I want to go over to the comments really quickly. Miss Teresa's joining us this morning. Miss Trista is here. Hello, Miss Trista. Good to see you. Sharon said, glad you're back. Glad you took time to recharge, rest, and take time off, time out, and time inside. And the thing of it is, thank you for being here, Sharon. I'm still doing that. It just looks a little bit different right now. But I'm so in awe of what my body has done and how my body has shown up for me in this time that I thought rest was going to look like just being in my bed and that's it. you know the way that I have a new respect for my body right now that I haven't had before. And I don't have to go into all of the things that I have talked about before. You can, we're in season 6, guys. You can go back and listen. But I have a new place of awe and respect and amazement for my body. And I think that is an incredible place to be for myself. And I'm so excited about what seems to be a new chapter in my life, and what that's going to look like going forward. I'm in talks with different people about different things, and that's all I can say right now. And I apologize, but I'm thrilled about this space that I'm in, being able to be involved, and also the other realization that I've had that I'll say this. I made the comment. There are people that have been encouraging the people that have been encouraging me to be involved in new ways that I hadn't even considered. I said to those people, I'm an emotional person. Yeah, I have cried. I don't know how many times on this show, and my other shows in person. I'm just an emotional person. I feel very deeply. I love even deeper than I feel like I feel, if that even makes sense. And what I said was, I was like, I don't think whether we're talking about the capital or the world at large, I'm not sure that they're ready for that. I'm not sure that they're ready for that. And what I was told by multiple people is that I'm asking the wrong question. It's not, is the world ready for you? Are you ready to be who you are for the world and be unapologetic for it? So that's the question. That's what this period of resting, healing, activism, and joy has brought to me, is pondering that question and what does that look like? Lots going on here, you guys. Lots going on here, and I'm so excited to be a part of it, and it's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right, we've got to do birthdays and stuff, so we're going to take one more quick break, and we will be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
On April 4th, I was 90 years old, grandson of slaves. My parents were first generation free. A long time ago, I embraced the definition of love. Love is the experience of well-being. And a friend is one who mutually shares that experience of well-being with you, which opens up almost infinite creative possibilities.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. That's not a typo. The film The Friendship Paradox released November of 2024. It is available at thefriendshipparadox.com. Go check it out. You can watch the film for free. It's a long one. But it's a good, wonderful documentary that so many of my connections participated in, that takes a look at friendship in adulthood, and it's fantastic. I may be biased, but that's okay. We've got to do birthdays here, you guys. So if anybody has birthdays that they know of, comment down below and let's do it.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, you guys, in the world of celebrity and well-known folks today, President Trump's granddaughter, is 18 years old today. Tony Hawk, skateboarder, entrepreneur, 57 years old today. Anybody have memories of playing the Tony Hawk video game? That used to be so fun, and you go up and collect the things. And anyway, I'm not really big into the sports video games, but I did enjoy that one, playing with my brother, who, by the way, had a birthday. Would have been his 40th birthday on May 6th, which I find to be terribly ironic with everything else going on. And I've had the opportunity to tell a little bit of his story and everything else. So beautiful with that too. Actor Emilio Estevez, my best memory of him is in The Mighty Ducks. Y'all like that movie? I love that movie, The Mighty Ducks. 63 years old today. Florence Nightingale, who passed away in 1910, he known as the founder of modern nursing, has a birthday today. Domhnall Gleeson, actor, 42 years old. You may know him from, I think, some of the Star Wars movies, but we know him in this household as Bill Weasley from Harry Potter. Actor Jason Biggs, 47 years old, American Pie, among other things. Orange is the New Black. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff as well. Connecticut's own Katharine Hepburn, who passed away in 2003, had a birthday today as well. Fun fact, she passed away in Old Saybrook, which is not far from me here, where I'm at in Connecticut. And there's a Katharine Hepburn theater there that I've had friends perform at and things like that. They have wonderful. Who was there recently that I was so sad I didn't get to see? Richard Marx performed there. So anywho, 2003 she passed away. And then the fantastic comedian George Carlin, who passed away in 2008. I read an article, a beautiful article that was written about him fairly recently, and it talked about how if he was still alive today, he would not be short of material. He would not be short of material. He was always known for being pretty outspoken. And so happy birthday, George Carlin. The celebrities in my own life. Miss Lisa Flowers has a birthday today. Worked with her when I lived out in Washington State. My friend Frank, who likes to come on to the comments here of Project Joy and heckle me. One of my college buddies from over here in Mitchell College in New London, Connecticut, has a birthday today. So happy birthday, Frank Daniel. And stop telling stories about when we went to college together, okay? Tomorrow coming up, Donna Macrino, one of our friends from Dance Country, has a birthday tomorrow. And then also my dear friend, and you saw her face in that Friendship Paradox commercial, Angela Scott Little, has a birthday tomorrow as well. So happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. And let's get our birthday song on. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kai, Tony, Emilio, Florence, Dom, Hall, Jason, Catherine, George, Lisa, Frank, Donna, and Angela. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. I don't care who you are. That song is a whole vibe. That song has been a vibe since we started playing on this show. I'm always dancing like a crazy Muppet back here behind the scenes. And I watch too. Anytime I have somebody on the show, I watch behind the scenes because I can see people in the green room back here. They're all going nuts too. It's like there's something in that song that just makes you move. I don't care who you are. So I hope you've enjoyed the show today. It's been so wonderful. So I can't even tell you. Truly so amazing being back with you guys. I'll be back here with you all on Wednesday as well. But as we close out today's episode, I want to remind you that rest isn't always stillness. Healing doesn't always look quiet, and joy, well, joy often surprises us by showing up in the middle of the mess. Sometimes the plans we make for peace and recovery are transformed into missions, movements, or moments that ask us to show up differently. And that's okay because you are capable. You are strong, and joy is yours no matter the path you take. So thank you for being with me this morning. I'll see you again on Wednesday for another episode of Project Joy Live, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And don't forget to join us this morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll be joined by Diane Connors for our special broadcast, Homeschooling Under Fire. Let's keep walking forward with purpose, with heart, and always with joy. I'm Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you that you are the joy. And I love you all so very much today. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.